Hello everybody, my name is Burrhead2 and welcome to the new campaign trail. This is a nifty little browser game about running for president, and this is kind of an odd choice of a game to play, but we're not going to be playing the base game, no. We go down to the mod loader here, and there's a mod loader baked directly into the site that is wonderful, and I'm going to play this mod right here. This looks pretty strange. I did play a little bit of this earlier, just answered the first two questions, and this is pretty weird, and I figured I could make a video on this. So it changes to purple, the random pattern changes, the random quote changes. That's cute. So we select our one and only option, the 1988 election, and we're playing as William Afton. Admittedly, this warning here is making me a little nervous, but there isn't anything I can't censor to remain a family-friendly channel. So like and subscribe for more family-friendly content. If you want to read this, go ahead and pause the video. I'm not going to do that because there's a lot of reading in this game, trust me. It's pretty simple. And we get to choose from our candidates. We have exactly one. Go ahead and read this if you want, but basically we're some smart guy. And we get to choose our vice president from a list of 3 real people. I don't really know who any of these people are. I know who Bob Dole is, kind of, but so let's quickly check this here. One of your first endorsers, Richard Lugar, however you pronounce that, is a more experienced hand, elected senator in 1976. Admittedly, he looks like it. A man whose mild dovishness and moderate positions on domestic issues will let him mesh well with your message, so your advisors believe. So this is a pick that would cement you as a different kind of Republican without throwing the Reaganites overboard. So we're playing as a Republican nominee in this case. We have Bob Dole. Robert Dole is the chief rival of the nomination this year, with many pundits blaming his loss on a split field of neoconservatives compared with you and your paleoconservative darling Pat Buchanan vying for the sparse isolationist wing of the party. Some animosity towards your campaign. So basically, it's probably not the best choice here. And we have Pat Buchanan. He looks kind of like Ted Cruz. And so basically, this is a bad choice, but he has a lot of government experience, is what this is saying. And this is bad. So maybe not Pat Buchanan. So I feel like our best choice here is Richard Lugar, even though still probably not the best choice. Couldn't I just find someone else? Probably a lot of senators I could choose from. But we're gonna choose this guy. Take winner, take all. A normal difficulty level, and let's go into this. So, you never thought you'd be here in Milwaukee. Not like this. You remember that sling from 1984, the contagious ecstasy of the roaring crowds beckoning for your adoration. Somehow, though, you feel the crowds were bigger in Utah. How will you address this raucous convention goers? Alright, so we must not turn back the clock. Turn back the clock on the legacy of President Reagan. When I first played this, I think I chose this option. Many weren't expecting such a direct promise to carry Reagan's torch, considering you nearly burned down the Republican Party by tearing his administration's policy to pieces. Receive a kind phone call from the president the following morning. You wish you could gut him like a pig. How lovely. Alright, we're gonna just skip that. Every day you feel it, the weight of it all. The 6 children you slaughtered leer at you from beyond our plane, angrier and... beyond our plane. I was talking about, like, fields, not, like, plain walls. Angrier and angry every day. Your own 2 children weep into your ears that they were still here. They hate you. How will you soothe their voices? I think I initially chose... Oh yeah, I know Michael's pot in his room. I'll wait for him to sneak off to that place that night and tap into a supply. Michael got that good kush. I think I chose, this one. I tried to drown my sorrows in liquor, but apparently my sorrows can float. And then there's these 2 options, which means there's a 50-50 chance of there being a good option. So I think I'm gonna try the good kush. This was a bad idea, William. Your guilt and your sorrow combined with your heightened anxiety nearly sends you into a panic attack. You will have to take 2 days off the trail to regain your composure. Oh, that sucks. Alright. So even though the Democrat nominee in this case is still Dukakis, he's orange for some reason. Although orange against purple, blue against purple is probably not the best color choice. I respect that. Unless the mod maker here is suggesting that Michael Dukakis is the main character in the Day Shift at Freddy's games, which is kind of funny. And we got a lot of support in Utah, some in the south here, not much in Alabama. That's Mississippi. That's Alabama. This is Mississippi. What'd be a good choice? Let's go to Mississippi. Try and show up a little support here. What would you like to say about your choice of running mate Richard however you pronounce his name. So Senator Lugar was a close friend of mine from the very beginning of my career in politics. He and I share many values on various issues of the day, and I doubt he'll make an excellent vice president. There are few men who know geopolitics quite like Richard. He'll be a key advisor on foreign policy in an Afton administration. Feel like this is a good choice? See what they say. Reagan loyalist, while still being a small C conservative, stressing his foreign politics experience is a smart angle. That works for me. President Reagan has given his endorsement today, defying many pundits and even some in Reagan's inner circle who were familiar with Reagan's dislike for you. Bush, Rumsfeld, and other prominent GOP hawks are rallying around the ticket, just as you expected. Will you respond? So our campaign welcomes the president's endorsement. Many prominent members of his cabinet will have a home in an Afton administration, I'm sure. I reject this endorsement. Probably not a good choice. Or I could just not respond. Let's say yes, that's probably the best choice here. Good one. Most in Reagan's inner circle would go into the private sector, then serve in your administration. They are quick to remind you in talks with the campaign manager that their endorsements are a formality. Still, this is a show of unity that can only help you. Come on, like Reagan's popular. Why not say, you want more Reagan? Vote for me. So, that worked. We're up 6%. That's a pretty decent lead. Montana's a little contested. North Dakota. Let's go to North Dakota. It means only got 3 electoral votes, but let's just... anything helps, really. Dukakis is attacking your lack of experience, contrasting the so-called Massachusetts miracle with your uneventful tenure as Utah's governor. How will you respond, William? Alright, so we can attack Michael Dukakis' liberal policies. Might not be bad. We will not attack. Or we can say do the American people want experience? Experience brought us the Gulf of Tonkin incident and Iran-Contra. Record as an honest businessman who built himself nothing speaks for itself. If I say that, that's gonna bite me in the butt. Probably go on the attack here. Good move, hitting back. You turned to the tried and true tradition of law and order chest beating that has won the Republican's elections since the 1960s, and frightened suburbanites everywhere admire your strength. That's good, right? An op-ed released in the New York Times today criticized your business for its lack of accountability in regards to the missing children's incident that occurred earlier in this decade. Told you a bad choice to say I was honest. Specifically citing Fazbear Entertainment's litigation against the families of the victims. Would you care to comment? Fazbear Entertainment was cleared of any wrongdoing and continues to deny any responsibility in the missing children's case. The New York Times can expect to hear from our legal team. Iffy on that one. The things to know about this case would shock you. I couldn't agree more with the op-ed. Personally, the missing children's incident and Fazbear Entertainment's response were the cause of my departure. Admit responsibility, or admit I'm at least morally superior, or not say anything. Deny it. I'm going to try the moral high road in this case. This is quite a gambit, William. You are playing a dangerous game by torching, yes, the company you built to the ground. That is true. An anonymous source close to Fazbear Entertainment reports to the Washington Post that you left Fazbear's in 1983, 2 years before the missing children's incident, invalidating your story completely. Well, you know how stuff gets around. I probably found a little earlier. Pennsylvania would be a pretty nice, though we're losing pretty heavily here. The Hurricane Police Department announced this morning reopening the investigation into the missing children's incident from 1985 following new evidence retrieved by forensics. This has the potential to tarnish your image as an honest businessman. How will you act? I need to go back to Freddy's, as robots cannot be there when the police start poking around. To panic, I can't do anything that would incriminate myself. If the police find me in Utah, that alone will be enough to pin me as the prime suspect. That is kind of true. I need to go back to Freddy's, or I can try the 50-50 chance of getting a good option. I'm going to try this one. Things were going so well until you saw them. You thought the suit could protect you, but it appears it will be your tomb. So you're saying I'm dying? But I'm William Afton. That doesn't matter. The polls have tightened significantly as you miraculously kept your sins under wraps. Where would you like to close out the campaign already? Wow, this is pretty quick. Let's take a... Oh. Okay. Let's try Florida and Texas. You sit down in your home in Hurricane as the police polls close, kept company only by the Secret Service outside your home and your grieving wife quietly weeping in the other room. Even with the half of the country waving a banner bearing your name, you have never felt more alone. That hit hard. Alright, well, let's watch the election. There goes Kentucky. Darn it, Kentucky. Indiana. Unsurprising. I don't know why this keeps flashing. Georgia, Vermont, Virginia, South Carolina. Let's just go to the final results here. I think I just lost. From the Hurricane Gazette, from August 18, 2008, 20 years later, with the spooky season nearly upon us, a brand new state-of-the-art haunted house attraction is opening here in Hurricane, set to open October 15th. Fazbear's Fright on the Corner Crossings Road and Mayberry Avenue will be a love letter to the beloved 80s Freddy Fazbear's franchise that took Utah by storm and fueled the controversial William Afton's presidential ambitions. The attraction promises real props that were taken from the abandoned restaurants and sold at auctions by looters, including a special, fully functional animatronic from the original Fredbear's Family Diner. Fans of the franchise and those familiar with the more macabre side of the story, business is history, will not want to miss this fantasy and fun brought to life. I lost literally everything. Literally everything. And DC, but then again, I'm a Republican candidate, and DC is literally never voted Republican ever. By 64% popular vote. Any further reading? Results by state. Let's try this again. See if I can do a little better this time. So yeah, I'm gonna choose William Afton. I could try Bob Dole. Let's go keep with this guy. See if I can't get a couple better answers here. Alright. So, let's try to say we're going against the Democrats here. A battle hymn is just what the doctor ordered, with all those polls showing us getting slaughtered by Dukakis. Bringing up the polls made your advisors wince, but perhaps it is best to address the elephant in the room. Let's try one of these again. Actually, the first time I chose this one, it fits like a glove. You beckon a little girl and her adolescent brother, leaving Freddy's into the back of your new 98 Bronco you bought with campaign funds. The two were never seen again. The screams for the first time in what seems like ages relent. Well, good on me for that one. Would Hawaii be a good choice? No, that's a horrible lead. Probably not. Now, Arkansas is a good choice. Now, let's say he's a good friend of mine. Luger is one of the few enthusiastic candidates for the bottom of the ticket this year. Advisors remarked that his experience will round the ticket nicely. That's great. I will again accept the Reagan endorsement. Did I say this right? I rejected. This is what you get for not reading. You frightened and angered men of GOP rank and file with the statement, with some murmurs in the party organizing a third-party campaign behind Tennessee's Howard Baker. While some in your circle praise your bravery, was there any doubt of them voting for you anyway? Return to Tennessee red. That is somehow actually impressive in all the wrong ways. Let's try Arkansas again. Let's go on the attack against Michael Dukakis again. Alright, so let's deny it this time. This is an important issue to stick up for yourself. After all, if things go the other way here, the results will be cataclysmic. And just watch yourself and be careful not to appear heartless to the public. Can do. Did this get more red? I think it kind of did. Look at the electoral vote estimate. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. Now let's try Maine. Maine would be pretty nice. Let's risk getting a good choice here. You stick in the building to the exit. One by one, you lure the beast into the room just outside your workshop and smash them to pieces. The police arrive the following morning to find the animatronics missing without a trace. And their investigations soon run cold. Yes! Here we go. Alright, so where would you like to allocate your advertising funds this week? So we can go from New England, the West Coast, the South, and the Midwest. I feel like we could probably stand to show a little more support up here in the south, but we're already leading by at least a couple points here. At least 2. And 1 in the case of Georgia. Now, the Northeast, I'm not winning the Northeast, that's for sure. The Midwest is a little iffy, but I think I'm gonna go with, or the West Coast, but yeah, that's probably not gonna get the West Coast. I'm going to choose the South. With Lloyd Benston on the ticket, your advisors have been pushing you to do something to bring the South back in line. A race-baiting attack ad from Lee Atwater without a fellow named Willie Horton blitzes the region, which really seems to make an impact. Well, I'm winning Georgia by 2 points now instead of 1, so definite improvement. Now let's try Montana. Dukakis has been blitzing the Farm Belt this year, and polling shows he's made good returns on the investment. How will you talk to these voters who feel left behind by the booming economy? I will protect our farmers with new federal subsidies. We must protect agriculture, as we must protect our manufacturing in a world of increasing globalization. The heart of small business owner and that of the farmer beat as one. I'm convinced my background will resonate with these people. Let's head to Iowa and talk to some farmers face to face. And that again. I won't entertain a hootenanny with a bunch of country bumpkins. Dukakis can play in the mud all he likes. Our message is one that resonates with all Americans. Let's try this one. The press makes a hay of an incident where a farmer you shook hands with at a publicity event called you a weirdo when interviewed by the press. The cold open on Saturday Night Live this weekend tears you to shreds. There it goes, all crashing down. Not like I was going to win anyway. During the primaries, you were attacked by the Republicans of all stripes for criticizing the administration's intervention in Latin America. Coming short of outright opposition, you stressed the need to pick our battles on the world stage. Republican donors are requesting clarification on the foreign policy question. Well, I can say, allow me to clarify. I won't continue our policy of acting as a world policeman, but I certainly won't be barging into foreign countries and instituting regime change for influential gain, or I'll protect our interests and security from foreign threats. I'm calling for a higher oversight and caution, not a retreat from our global responsibilities. Or I will assemble the best foreign policy minds of the nation has to offer, Republican or Democrat, to guide my administration. I cannot comment any farther than that. I feel like this could potentially be a decent choice. You raise some eyebrows with this response, but your promise for a bipartisan cabinet has soothed fears the nation's foreign policy will be guided by radicals. Okay, that's good. Let's look at the electoral vote estimate. And this still is terrible. Okay, well, at least I have Indiana and Utah. Definitely Utah. How about Colorado? The Dukakis campaign is running a new slate of attack as highlighting Richard Lugar's 1986 statement that President Reagan did not understand the law requiring the president to inform Congress about Iran-Contra. Contrasting the statement to your attacks against the president's conduct, how will you respond? So the first two options here are the same. We need to thread the needle here. We've already been on the outs with the Reaganites. Lugar will issue a statement softly criticizing Iran-Contra while we maneuver to have Reagan at a rally with us the same day. We could seriously harm our credibility, have Lugar issue a clear-cut denouncement of the presidential administration's conduct during Iran-Contra, or I will not respond. Let's try a clarification statement here. A brilliant maneuver! By the time the president and his staff hear of Lugar's statement, the rally is already over and you're halfway to Hurricane. Your show unity overshadows Lugar's statement in the public eye. Well done, William. Thank you. Ronald Reagan's rise in the Republican Party cemented evangelical voters as an unofficial wing of the GOP. So far, you are an unknown entity to many of these voters, and donations coming in aren't what they were in '84. How will you appeal to these voters? I'm not going to go gallivanting around in a little minivan Bible thumping for a bunch of gap-toothed hillbillies. They're so afraid of me that they can vote for Dukakis. If they are. I spent my life serving Christ and spreading his message in my small town of Hurricane. I was raised in a religious household and to this day I attend church every Sunday, or I believe in the God-fearing Christian America that I grew up in. Mike Dukakis wants unlimited abortion and abandoned the Pledge of Allegiance. Who do you trust? Let's try an attack angle here. This answer is a little too on the nose, but is red meat for the base. The National Right to the Life Committee issues a full endorsement of your campaign. That's great. It's still at 398. Really? Apparently I can't win. Well, let's just start making big moves here. Let's go to Missouri and see if I can get any support here. Letters from the NRA have been pouring into your offices since 1983, requesting public statement on your stance on gun control. Would you care to comment? While I recognize the right to bear arms, common sense restrictions will keep guns out of the hands of criminals. Perhaps we can look and increase our background checks and better enforcement. I believe in the right to own a rifle arm. Firearm! Unlike Dukakis, Afton administration will respect and protect the Second Amendment. I believe that with rising crime in our cities, we must consider a targeted increase in gun restrictions. There is no reason to own a hunting rifle in Manhattan. Now, I feel like this second option here is probably a pretty good choice for a Republican candidate in 1988. Gun control has become a salient issue for Republicans over the last few decades. More and more Americans are buying guns with fewer and fewer trust the government to protect them. It is the night of the year's presidential debate. The moderator, CNN's Bernard Shaw, asks, Senator, if Clara Afton were raped and murdered, would you advocate for an irrevocable death penalty? I recognize this. Michael Dukakis was asked this one, I believe, that year. I believe the death penalty should not only remain legal, but should be federally protected for violent and drug-related offenses. No state should reserve the right to waste resources on problem members of society. I'll be answering any questions about my wife being raped. I yield my time. Of course, I support death penalty for the worst of crimes, but I believe it should be left to the states. In that sense, my position is identical to President Reagan's. I don't appreciate you mentioning my wife. Now, I'm not going to read that last one. I think this is a good one. Decent answer. You have towed the party line without coming off as an extremist. Well, yay me. Things changed. It's at 388 now. It's going up. Everything's coming up. Daisies and roses for me. How about now? Let's go to let's go to Connecticut. A story from the relatively unknown Hurricane Gazette has exploded into national headlines this morning. Son of presidential candidate William Afton, Michael Afton, missing from hurricane home. Secret Service mystified. What will we do? How could the Secret Service lose him? I told them to keep a close eye on him. Michael is the Hurricane Police Department's concern, not mine. No official statement goes out about this. Understand? Or I'm flying to Hurricane, private detail only. I know where he is. I will find him. This is interesting. I know where he is. Media frenzy around this issue only grows when your jet is spotted on the runway in Salt Lake City. Darn! We look at Freddy's, but Michael is nowhere to be found. What has he done? What has he got himself into? A Secret Service member notifies you at a rally in Tallahassee today that Michael has been located in the abandoned Circus Baby's Pizza World location. Michael is unrecognizable with cuts and scars and missing organs. Okay, and has yet to be revived by medical personnel. I'm sorry, William. Those monsters in that awful dungeon did this. My last son, where is the suit? Honey, where's my super suit? Or should I say, where's my spring-lock suit? You head to Circus Baby's Pizza World and are greeted by an empty tomb. Lovely, you will find recently dried blood in the scooping room. The monsters are loose. Well, I couldn't keep them contained forever. Now, how does this affect my polling? It didn't at all. Hallelujah. I mean, it could have made it better, but it didn't. How about Illinois? Illinois is a 5-point lead for Dukakis. That's not good. Florida, even worse. I have a slight lead in Arkansas. Actually, it's a toss-up. Let's go to Arkansas. 2 hurricane police officers were recovered and were unrecognizably beaten and scarred after responding to a 911 call about a large skulking creature in the woods on the outskirts of town. It's all falling apart. I will talk to the beast myself. It's the only way. Who cares? This has nothing to do with me. Just deny it on the national stage. This is local news. You put on the suit and drive in a rental car to the forest preserves. You exchange pleasantries with the monster. I understand, Daddy. I will wait. Thank you, Elizabeth. We will all be a family soon again. But how does this affect my polling? It helped me. Yes! 384 to, whatever that was. 143. I'm still losing, but I'm losing a little less. A horrified aide bursts into your office and turns on the TV. Breaking news! Son of Republican candidate William Afton revived after 2 days of intense medical care. The 17-year-old boy told Hurricane Police that he has information pertaining to the 1985 missing children's incident, and looks at you and asks you point blank, what do you know about those children, William? I know just as little about this as you do. I'm sorry, I need to see Michael. Close the door. You're implying something. Get out of my office, or close the door. Don't say anything, I think. Maybe. You silence the aide. It's too late for this distraction. Thankfully, you've no shortage of suits for storage. Yes, that's... darn it, it hurt me. How do they know about this? Okay, let's go back to Arkansas. Maybe I can at least try to win the 6 electoral votes. You sneak into the third floor window after confirming his room number. Conveniently past the police officers outside the door. They lays your son, rotting like a corpse. Put him out of his misery. Well, let's make 3 for 3. You quietly unhook the machines, leaving in the machine monitoring his vitals. You sneak away into the night, and by the time a nurse responds to his vitals going flat, you're in a different time zone. Really, it took them that long to respond to some guy literally dying. The missing children's incident again goes cold. You see a boost in the polls as the media showers you in sympathy while your name is cleared. Aw, yes, I knew killing him was the right choice. Polls are tight significantly as you miraculously kept your sins under wraps. Look at the map. Oh, I might actually win this. Okay, no, I'm not. But it's better than it was before. So, the Northeast. If I could get California would be pretty good because it got 47 electoral votes. Let's go into the West Coast. We're going to the West Coast. Where's that? That's not the West Coast. That's Michigan, Illinois. That's not the West Coast. There it is, California. All right. We're watching the news this night. Come on. 4% in. 6th. Indiana goes Afton. Yes. What about there? Kentucky goes Afton. I love democracy. I'm winning 21-0. Come on, we're 22% counted already. Come on. Okay, there was Massachusetts, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia. Yes. West Virginia, North Carolina. That's good. I'm winning. There goes Alabama, Mississippi. I got Vermont. Didn't have Maryland, but we're still winning pretty. Oklahoma, great. Nebraska, Arizona. I got Vermont. That's New Hampshire, I think. Maine. Yes, we got Wyoming, Utah. No surprise there. Colorado. Didn't get Tennessee somehow. Didn't get Florida. A lot of these East Coast states. I'm losing 155 to 212. And I better concede 159. Idaho, Montana, Nebraska. Already I got Ohio, Arkansas. That's nice. It's closer than I thought it was going to be. 80% counted. Didn't get Washington or Texas or South Dakota or Minnesota or Wisconsin. That's what it is. Darn it. Darn it. Sorry you lost the election. It's okay if you the rest of the returns. Alright. Well, let's go to the final results. There we go. A different ending. In defense of William Afton. I'm making this post because I'm sick of seeing Afton memes and ignorant posts about him. This is a Reddit post. My great uncle was a member of his campaign, team for Utah Senate, and he to this day talks about him like the second coming. I don't know if I go as far as my uncle, but the guy clearly is overhated. He was a moderate Republican for the time, in a time where far right wingers were taking over. He opposed the Iraq War, and there to this day there was no proof he was responsible for the missing children's incident. I believe the knife was for taxidermy. Just like he said, he had plenty of homemade carpets and rugs, and he took a book on it in his house. And he had a book on his house. If you want my opinion on Michael, well, I think the deep state wanted William out of the picture, and new Michael disappearing would look suspicious. I stand by the belief that William Afton would have beaten Dukakis and would have been 10 times better than him as president. Think about it. He wouldn't have gotten us into Iraq, he wouldn't have raised taxes, and Russia might not be the crap hole that it is today. Thoughts, or am I crazy? Negative 398 karma. Yeah, that's a Reddit post. Read more. Oh, that's just part of the text. Let's look at the map. I got Louisiana, but not Michigan. I got 205. That's a lot better than I thought. Well, that's gonna call it for today's video. Darn it, I couldn't win. But, so thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next video, whatever that may be, probably not this again. And, well, Goodbye.